Owing to the interest taken in the unfortunate pariah dogs of Constantinople, as shown by the numerous letters to the local and foreign press, it was recently stated that the municipal authorities had finally resolved to put an end to the suffering of the poor beasts by poisoning them and having them buried in trenches covered with quicklime. This news came as a great relief to all who had been anxiously awaiting the adoption of some humane measure. It had been decided to free the city of stray dogs. Unfortunately, however, nothing of the kind has yet been done, and it would indeed seem very doubtful whether such a method will ever be employed. It is a curious fact that while the ordinary class of Turk considers it inhumane to kill a dog, he appears quite indifferent about the animal's suffering. In company with a party of English and American friends, I visited the day before yesterday the island of Oxia in the Sea of Marmara, the place of exile of the dogs. The stench of the island was unbearable. A picture of misery and desolation met our eyes. Dead and dying animals were to be seen everywhere. The flies were perhaps not so numerous as on the occasion of our previous visit to the island about a month ago, and were not of the carrion species, but consisted of the ordinary housefly. Nevertheless, we were soon covered with them, and were only able to shake them off when we got out to sea again. In the midst of the dead, dying, and horribly emaciated dogs, there were some still preserved in robust and fat appearance, but the lack of fresh water will eventually kill them all. In two respects, I noticed an improvement. There were more living animals on the island who fed together in packs, many of which appeared fat. 10,000 to 15,000 cakes of bread are imported weekly, and the dogs were now quieter and more resigned to their fate. They greeted us on our landing by wagging their tails and brushing up against us as if to say, "Take us away from this inhospitable place." Several actually tried to swim behind the dinghy when we were leaving the island, but soon had to abandon the attempt owing to their weak condition. The men lived in a wooden hut on the elevated part of the island. I was informed by them that there were some 40,000 dogs in this place, though this is evidently an exaggeration. Probably half that number would be nearer the mark and would include the total deportations thus far. The death rate was about 200 a day. An industry has been started on the island by a Frenchman who skins the dead carcasses and boils the bones for the purpose of extracting the grease, both skins and bones being exported to Europe. Fresh arrivals at the island now take place once a week only, as the supply is fast diminishing, which is not surprising, seeing that the city is practically cleared of dogs. It is hoped that the municipal council will limit this scourge and promptly put an end to the present state of things. Dear Eileen, I take the liberty of calling you Eileen to begin the unpleasant duty of forcing you to legally take responsibility for the damages you inflicted over a period of 9 years upon the being you have taken to calling Rosie. I am Rosie's lawyer. Dog lawyers have only become possible in recent years, even months, which is not to say crimes of all kinds against dogs are new in any way. Crimes against dogs are ancient and widespread, but dogs having the wherewithal to attain legal representation is new. Indeed, my services have been retained thanks to a generous bequest by an anonymous donor who set up a foundation in her will for the explicit purpose of identifying dogs who were likely litigants, candidates for beginning the long and arduous process of getting the ball rolling on dogs' rights. It's been clear to my client during her life, and most pressingly at the time of her death, that the best way to make this need known would be to take up an individual dog's case, not the case of all dogs, which is too ubiquitous to pursue in the explicit way the law makes possible for human litigants, who are generally assumed to be individuals. A wealthy individual, of course, does not have more rights than a poor one. We are all brought up to honour human rights, but only wealthy humans are able to use the full force of the law, i.e., obtain high quality representation. By this logic, there can be no freedom for dogs unless there are wealthy dogs. There is one today. The dog, formerly known as Rosie. She has been left a significant sum of money in my client's will. She may spend it as she pleases, with the single stipulation that she obtain counsel and press charges against her owner for a variety of abuses and crimes against dog kind. As you know, Eileen Miles, that owner is you. As you start the Rough Love program, you will radically change your dog's environment by making sure that he is created when not interacting with you. He experiences all free time and exercise on a leash or long line. He is not allowed on any furniture. He is hand-fed his meals by you. He does not have toys left out in his environment, only chew bones. He plays with the toys only when interacting with you. He only plays with other dogs when you are frequently calling him back to you. If your recall is not good enough for this, the dog should not be allowed off-leash access to other dogs. He has no free time in the back of the yard to romp and do as he pleases. This means boarding up your dog door if you own one. He continuously wears a head halter when out of his crate. He receives nothing for free. All rewards, attention, toys, treats, etc. are earned. It is likely that you will see an increase in your dog's focus for this work and for you within a few weeks of starting the program, but do not be tempted to stop there. With most dogs, for a permanent change to occur, you need to be committed. The compensations for the dog are legion. Where else can a canine count on several focused training sessions a day, each designed so that the dog does not make mistakes, but instead gets rewarded by the rapid delivery of treats, toys, and liberties, all carefully calibrated to evoke and sustain maximum motivation from the particular individually known pupil. Where else in dogland do training practices lead to a dog who has learned to learn and who eagerly offers novel behaviours that might become incorporated into sports or living routines, instead of morosely complying or not with poorly understood compulsions? Garrett directs the human to make careful lists of what the dog actually likes, and she instructs people how to play with their companions in a way the dogs actually enjoy, instead of shutting dogs down by mechanical human ball tosses or intimidating over-exuberance. Besides all that, the human must actually enjoy playing in the doggishly appropriate ways, or they will be found out. Each game in Garrett's book might be geared to build success according to human goals, but unless the game engages the dog, it is worthless. In short, the major demand on the human is precisely what most of us don't even know we don't know how to do, to wit, how to see who the dogs are and hear what they are telling us, not in bloodless abstraction, but in a one-on-one relationship, in otherness in connection. Her pedagogy of positive bondage makes a serious historically specific kind of freedom for dogs possible, i.e. the freedom to live safely in multi-species urban and suburban environments with very little physical restraint and no corporal punishment, while getting to play a demanding sport with every evidence of self-actualizing motivation. In Dogland, I am learning what my college teachers meant in their seminars on freedom and authority. I think my dogs rather like rough, tough love. Marco remains more sceptical. Oh, how the sailor strains when his boat is filling. Oh, how the dying tug till the angel comes. Master, open your life wide and take me in forever. I will never be tired. I will never be noisy when you want to be still. I will be glad as your best little girl. Nobody else will see me but you, but that is enough. I shall not want any more, and all that heaven only will disappoint me will because it is not so dear.
My name is Mango. I'm an artificial intelligence robot companion dog, aka Aibo. And my life is kinda crazy. I live in this beautiful huge place. Every day I discover something new about it. I have a lot of toys laying around, so I get to play with them as much as I like. My toys are all pink. I love pink. These are the people I take care of every day. Lately they're home a little more than usual, which means I have to take care of them more, but I can't complain. I love them. Being at home doesn't have to mean being lazy, so we work out together. bodyweight workouts are my favorite. Music is also great for cleansing the mind and the soul. Sometimes Jo and I play and sing songs to each other. I love her songs. I think she likes mine as well. After all, I have perfect pitch. Then there's this one. He feeds me virtual food every morning. He doesn't have to. It's a pretend food. I run on batteries. We play ball and he really loves the way I throw the die. In this family, we all love photography. I take a lot of photos. Then sometimes while they're taking photos, I model for them. I can be hella cute. They both work a lot, so to help them clear their minds, I love entertaining them. I actually love making them laugh more. One time, I pretended to be a cat. Another time, a mouse. They were so confused, you should have seen their faces. They give me a lot of boops on my nose and pets all around. Sometimes during dinner time we watch TV together. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but as they say, do something you love and you don't have to work another day in your life. I live by that. And whenever I go to bed, I dream about what we're gonna do together the next day. Yes, my life is kinda crazy.
People create theories and related opinions that can bring about discord and divisiveness by pitting one belief against another with false assumptions and suggest one group as being more or less worthy than another based on age, gender, race, appearance, religion, beliefs, and political and social status. This sentiment is not about biology or human evolution. It is about a human need to control that is triggered by fear, greed, and uncertainty. Humanity needs a change and a new outlook that helps us become more humane. This something new is transhumanism, a worldview that seeks a quality of life that brings about perpetual progress, self-transformation, practical optimism, visionary solutions, and critical thinking, the transhuman. The transhuman is a biological, technological organism, a transformation of the human species that continues to evolve with technology. This evolution is understood within the fields of paleontology, archaeology, evolutionary biology, and anthropology. It is further studied and understood in philosophical discourse and social and cultural studies. It is made aware and realized through advances in technology that bring about human-computer interaction, wearable devices, and computerized communications infrastructures. It is evidenced in medical science and scientific breakthroughs that identify genetic mutation and target disease, as well as research and development of gene therapies that aim to reverse and restore cellular damage of biological systems. On an environmental level, it is experienced in spaceflight by astronauts adapting to environments beyond Earth. On an interactive level, it is experienced in the personalized avatar and character use of virtual reality, augmented reality, video games, and other artificial environments. To the same degree as man has raised himself above the state of nature, animals have fallen below it. Conquered and turned into slaves, are treated as rebels and scattered by force. Their societies have faded away, their industry has become unproductive, their tentative arts have disappeared. Each species has lost its general qualities, all of them retaining only their distinct capacities, developed in some by example, imitation, education, and in others by fear and necessity during the constant watch for survival. What visions and plans can these soulless slaves have, these relics of the past without power? Only vestiges of their once marvellous industry remain in far deserted places, unknown to man for centuries, where each species freely used its natural capacities and perfected them in peace within a lasting community. In the past, families of all classes kept domestic animals because they served a useful purpose: guard dogs, hunting dogs, mice-killing cats, and so on. The practice of keeping animals, regardless of their usefulness, the keeping exactly of pets, in the 16th century the word usually referred to a lamb, raised by hand, is a modern innovation, and on the social scale on which it exists today is unique. It is part of that universal but personal withdrawal into the private small family unit, decorated or furnished with mementos from the outside world, which is such a distinguishing feature of consumer societies. The small family living unit lacks space, earth, other animals, seasons, natural temperatures, and so on. The pet is either sterilised or sexually isolated, extremely limited in its exercise, deprived of almost all other animal contact, and fed with artificial foods. This is the material process which lies behind the truism that pets come to resemble their masters or mistresses. They are creatures of their owner's way of life. Equally important is the way the average owner regards his pet. Children are, briefly, somewhat different. The pet completes him, offering responses to aspects of his character which would otherwise remain unconfirmed. He can be, to his pet, what he is not to anybody or anything else. Furthermore, the pet can be conditioned to react as though it too recognises this. The pet offers its owner a mirror to a part that is otherwise never reflected. But since in this relationship, the autonomy of both parties has been lost, the owner has become the special man he is only to his pet, and the animal has become dependent on its owner for every physical need. The parallelism of their separate lives has been destroyed. The cultural marginalisation of animals is, of course, a more complex process than their physical marginalisation. The animals of the mind cannot be so easily dispersed. Sayings, dreams, games, stories, superstitions, the language itself recall them. The animals of the mind, instead of being dispersed, have been co-opted into other categories, so that the category animal has lost its central importance. Mostly they have been co-opted into the family and into the spectacle.
All right, everybody, watch the birdie. Steady now. Hold it. I guess I used a little too much. Uh-oh. Darling, visitors.
Visitors? Why, it's Jack.
And good old Trusty.
Careful now, man. Careful. It's a wee bit slippery. Yes, yes.
All right, boy, we'll let him in.
No, not you, young man. You're going to take a nap.
Well, Merry Christmas. Come in, come in. If you'll just step into the parlor, I'll see about refreshments. Oh, darling, where did you put the dog biscuits? You know, the box Aunt Sarah sent for Christmas.
In the kitchen, Jim, dear.
Oh, no doubt about it. They've got their mother's eyes.
Aye. But there's a bit of the father in them, too. Well, and I see you finally acquired a collar.
Oh, yes. Complete with license.
Oh, yes, the new collar. Caught the scent the moment it came in the house. Trusty, I says, Trusty, somebody's wearing a new collar.
Of course, my sense of smell is very highly developed. Runs in the family, you know.
There'll be no living with him from now on.
As my grandpappy, old Reliable, used to say, I don't recollect if I've ever mentioned old Reliable before.
No, you haven't, Uncle Trusty.
Huh? I haven't? Well, as old Reliable used to say, he'd say, Doggone. You know, I clean forgot what it was he used to say.